Amos Hochstein with U.S. State Department Special Envoy for International Energy. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure.
You spoke on a panel on the Middle East. There's no shortage of topics with the Middle East. Which country is most important in terms of stabilizing to help the U.S. feel more secure about its overseas energy supplies?
Well, I think right now it's not about any specific country. What we're seeing is a new dynamic, a change in the environment of energy. We've always seen volatility in the oil markets. That was there since the beginning of the oil markets. But what we're seeing now is a changed environment, and largely because of the United States. We no longer have a country like others who can make decisions on production levels, curtailment, or increases by the president of the country or the head of state. We have in the United States hundreds, if not thousands, of producers in the unconventional. And that means that when countries in OPEC and beyond look at what kind of actions to take, they have to look at a changed environment. And we want to be able to be partners with the countries in the region to identify how we can continue the excellent relationship we've always had, and to make sure that we can bring as much as possible some stability in the oil markets, and to ensure that the geopolitics of the region don't have adverse effects on the normal flow of the global economy.
Well, the oil side of the equation is better. Aren't the politics worse? If you just look at ISIS, for instance, which isn't just confined to one state's border. So isn't it more difficult dealing with geopolitics now?
Oh, without a doubt, the geopolitics right now as part of the equation of the oil markets are complicated. But I think it's interesting that if you look at just a couple years ago, 3 years ago, when the Libyan revolution started during the Arab Spring, and Libyan production went offline, we saw a dramatic increase in oil prices that generated a reaction from the United States and the international community on oil in order to stabilize and bring down the prices of oil. Today, we're looking at crisis after crisis in the Middle East, but we've seen relative stability after the decline without massive increases. And that's really another indication of this new environment that we're living in. So I think we have a terrible crisis with ISIS, and we have to focus on the most important part, which is to drive ISIS out of Iraq and to stabilize the conditions. But as far as the oil markets are concerned, Iraq has remained relatively stable. The production in the south continues and in fact reached a record high just in the last several weeks. And the interim agreement between Baghdad and Erbil is allowing for new production and for exports to once again flow from the north via Turkey.
If the Middle East is less relevant, why worry about partnering? Why not focus on North America and kill two birds with one stone?
So first, I would never say that the Middle East is not relevant.
Not as relevant in terms of OPEC's power.
So again, I don't think that necessarily we should look at OPEC as in terms of strength or weakness, but rather in terms of a change. OPEC has to adapt to a new environment that we're living in today. And I think that's the better way to look at it, not that OPEC has declined or not. We've already seen proclamations of the demise of OPEC in previous decades, which did not turn out to be true. I think we have to do two things at the same time. We can do both, and that is to focus on the Middle East, to focus on a deepening of our relationships there, and focus on North America. I don't think one contradicts the other.
Amos Hochstein, thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely, thank you.